Hi, everyone. My name is Krista Boyle, and I am the Chief Communications Officer for Cincinnati Public Schools. Thank you so much for joining us for this evening's discussion and question and answer period about the Montessori High School application period, which starts on Tuesday, starts on Tuesday. And so we will have an opportunity to ask questions. Everyone should be able to do that through the Q&A functionality. Please use that rather than chat functionality. So we're going to have a short presentation, and then we will get to Q&A. You can submit those questions throughout, and then at the end we will answer them. First, though, I would love to introduce the team here with me today, and I would like to begin with Assistant Superintendent Shauna Murphy.
Thank you, Krista. Good evening, everybody. I bring you greetings on behalf of our Cincinnati Public Schools Board of Education, as well as our Superintendent, Tiane Ahmad. It's my joy and my pleasure to bring this opportunity to our CPS families. I think that you'll be very pleased with some of the decisions our Board of Education has made, and you will get to learn about those tonight. Thank you, everyone, for being here.
Ms. Bryant.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us in our early Montessori high school application process conversation. And I'd like to share with you, I'm the manager of the Customer Care Center. I am also the person that will be presenting to you our new process. We're really excited to share.
Thank you so much. Can we take down the presentation for just a second? Well, we have our 6 Montessori principals with us, so if you guys could introduce yourselves, that would be terrific.
I'll start. My name is Melissa Ridley. I'm the principal at Gamble Montessori Elementary. Thanks for being here tonight.
Good evening. I'm Whitney Simmons Newton, principal at Parker Woods Montessori.
Bridge Montessori. Glad to see everybody here.
Hello, I'm Sarah Lord, principal at Sands Montessori. Welcome.
And I'm Jack Corey. I'm the principal over at North Avondale Montessori. Welcome.
Hi, I'm Yolanda Jackson. I'm the interim principal at Dater Montessori.
Great, thank you so much. And so with that, I think we will go ahead and pull up our presentation, and I will turn it over to Ms. Bryant.
Thank you so much. And again, welcome to Cincinnati Public Schools early Montessori application process. I bet you're wondering, what is this? Why are we doing this? It's because we heard from you. We're listening. Your feedback is very important to us. So we created a user-friendly early Montessori application for our in-district currently enrolled CPS Montessori 6th grade students. A lot to say there, but we want to make sure it's very much tailored to you so that we can ensure that our Montessori 6th grade students can move from elementary Montessori into high school Montessori, enjoying the same course of study throughout their high school career. The application will open this coming Tuesday, September 21st, and will close October 29th. How can you get access? How can you find this app? You can download it, print it, and submit it. You can email it, and the application will also be backpacked home with families. You can also stop by Clark Montessori High School, Gamble Montessori High School, or the Customer Care Center located in Corryville. Next slide, please. And again, the application is for our currently enrolled grade 6 students at a CPS Montessori elementary school. You must live in district, must be in grade 6, and must be at a CPS Montessori elementary school or at CDA, and we'll get more into that a little bit later. If you're curious, how can you learn more? We have a lovely page on our CPS website that actually is called CPS Early Montessori Application. You can also check Clark's website, Gamble's website, and you can also check out our new Montessori guide. Postcards will be hitting home sometime early this week or next week. Excuse me. And also on social media, robocall, and email. Matter of fact, that's how you got this appointment today. Also, when you stop by the customer care center, you want to go to the CPS website to schedule an appointment. We do take walk-ins, but there could be a wait, so an appointment is best. You'll also want to contact Clark and Gamble High School for office hours. Next slide, please. Again, what made us do this? Why? And again, it's because we've actually listened to our families, we've listened to the community. We want to ensure that our currently enrolled CPS grade 6 students who live in district have an early opportunity to secure a seat at a CPS Montessori high school. The benefits, of course, will provide an early application period before the CPS general lottery, where we have all of the lotteries in one, so you'll get an opportunity to secure your seat first. And also you'll have early notification, saving you time and giving you peace of mind, and it's just one less thing for our families to be concerned about. Next slide, please. Who should apply? And again, this is a very specific group of students. It is our current 6th grade students who live in district who want to enjoy the same course of study because they are currently enrolled at a CPS Montessori elementary school. 6 Montessori schools are listed there, or transfer to CDA due to, which is our Cincinnati Digital Academy, due to COVID-19 pandemic. So again, this child has to be enrolled at a CPS Montessori elementary school in grade 6, or have transferred to CDA having had prior Montessori experience. And again, that transfer was due to the pandemic, COVID-19. Next slide, please. When should families submit applications for their children? The application opens Tuesday online at 9 a.m. And again, applications will be backpacked home with children from school. You can also go to our website. You can also stop by Clark. You can stop by the customer care center. You can stop by Gamble. And again, call the schools and or email. Call customer care or email to schedule an appointment or just to double check office hours. The application will close October 29th. And it closes at 11:59 p.m. because there's an online application, and I'll share more information about that shortly. But if you're going to actually turn in a paper application, that's when you're going to want to know about those office hours. We'll also notify applicants of their results on November 30th, 2021. More information about that will be coming soon as well. Families who have a 6th grade child who's eligible for this process, who submit an application, don't have to re-register their child for 7th grade. If you don't want the seat, you simply opt out by communicating that by December 17th to CPS Clark High School, Gamble High School, or the Customer Care Center. And more information will be shared with you in your communication that comes right around November 30th. And again, if you're thinking, well, what if you mail me something and or my email address changes or something changes, you can change your demographic information throughout the school year, online or in person. Next slide, please. How can you apply? These are those details I was sharing with you earlier. You can go to the CPS website, download, print, and submit your application via email. You can deliver it to one of the 2 high schools, or you can send it to the customer care center. There's a drop box out in the sidewalk area in front of the building at 2651 Burnett Avenue, or you can schedule some time to come into the lobby, or you can just drop by. You may have to wait. Sometimes we have a little bit of long wait times. New this year, with this very new application, we've also created an online form. You can go to our CPS website and actually complete the form online. That application will be sent to Clark or Gamble and the customer care center, so that way we're all aware of who's applied. You can also, again, stop by any one of these schools, any one of the locations listed here, customer care, Clark, or Gamble High School. And again, applications are also backpacked home, so there are lots of ways to get this information and to receive an application. Next slide, please. The process. So I've shared with you why, I've shared with you how, and I've shared with you when. So this is our process. The in-district CPS students currently enrolled in a CPS Montessori school who transferred to CDA due to COVID-19 who wish to remain in the same course of study should apply. Montessori grade 6 students are given priority to enter Clark or Gamble High School based on their home address, and this is new this year. Applicants who reside east of I-75 will have priority into Clark. Applicants who reside west of I-75 will have priority into Gamble. Notification of status will be provided right around November 30th about 4 weeks after the application window closes. Only one application, paper or online, will be submitted and accepted per child. For applications from students, should a student apply that doesn't reside in district, we will not accept those applications. There is an application window for students who live outside of the district, and that's May, during our open enrollment time. Also, if you have an in-district student who doesn't fall within this category, grade 6 but not at a Montessori school, but they still want to apply to a Montessori high school, they can during the CPS General Lottery that opens up December 7th. Next slide, please. What's next? How will I know the status of my child's application? So now you've applied and you're kind of waiting around to see what's next. Cincinnati Public Schools will contact you using the information in the early Montessori application for your child. CPS will begin sharing those results on November 30th, 2021. You're going to want to check your email. You're going to want to check your U.S. Postal mailbox. You're also going to be able to log into PowerSchool. You can email or call the Customer Care Center, Clark High School, or James and Gamble High School. We have various ways for you to get the information about your child, which school your child has been accepted into. Next slide, please. So what's next? Through this process, your child will be automatically enrolled into Clark or Gamble. You're going to follow the steps that are outlined in the communication. So that is your status letter or what we share online. And again, updates to your demographic information can be done online through our CPS online registration, or you can come in person, complete and submit a student change of information form, and you can also email those in. Next slide, please. This is our application schedule for other lotteries, not just the CPS Early Montessori application. So we have our sibling application period that opens up same day, closes same day, September 21st, closes October 29th. That application is for siblings who want to enter a CPS elementary school, a magnet school, pre-K to 6 or pre-K to 8, depending on the building. There's more information about that on our website. There's also our Pps Lotteries, which actually this year is new. We've brought together all of our lotteries, magnet, high school, and out of neighborhood lottery in one application window, which is really big, December 7th through March 11th, 2022. That application actually allows families to be able to schedule shadow days or visits and be able to really make some good decisions about where they'd like to apply. December 7th through March 11th. We also have an East-West application that opens up April 12th next spring. And then, of course, we have our open enrollment, which opens up every year the month of May. Next slide, please. Now we're time for feedback and Q&A. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Ms. Bryant. We've received a bunch of great questions, so I am going to go ahead and roll through these. Feel free to keep asking them, and we'll share those out as we get them. So the first question, are you guaranteeing spots in Clark East Side for 6th grade current CPS Montessori students? So the language we are using is priority, and that is because it somewhat depends on the number of students. So right now it is priority, and it is only students on the east side who would apply, submit an application for Clark, and only students on the west side who would submit an application for Gamble. Second question, how are classes set up for high school? Are they 7th, 8th, and 9th all in one class? I am not the Montessori expert, so I would love to defer to see if anyone on our panel has an answer, and if not, we certainly can get back to you. Does anyone know how? Okay, great. So Desiree, if you would do me a favor and in chat, just send me an email, your email address, we will make sure that we respond back to you with how high school is set up. You can just do that through the chat function.
And then, Krista, it might be okay to share those dates where they can ask specific high school questions to those principals and those school teams.
That's great. Great call out. So on Thursday, we will be hosting an event for Gamble High School and an event for Clark High School. Parents who live on the east side would have received, or families would have received, an invitation for Clark. Families on the west side would have received an invitation for Gamble. So that Ms. Murphy's absolutely right. That would be another great place to ask any questions you guys may have about the high school experience, as well as those schools specifically. Thanks for that. Okay. Do we know when the Walnut admission test results will be available? Leslie, you might have, I believe, are the tests in February?
What I'm going to do is put the link to the testing site in the chat, so that way we're very specific about that information.
Okay, great. You should be able to put it as an answer to that specific question in the Q&A, and then everyone will be able to see it. Thanks for that. Does the application only allow you to apply for your assigned school based on address? That is correct. Once you complete the application, will there be an indicator online that your submission was received, allowing for confirmation? Ms. Bryant?
Yes, once you submit your application online, filling out that actual online form, you will receive a notification and an email back, is my understanding, that says, this is your application.
Okay, great. And don't go on mute because it's just when I'm mute. Don't go on mute because the next question is about, can you explain how to work for siblings? So once you have a child at a Montessori high school, do we allow for siblings to automatically enroll?
Yes. So again, with respect to which side of I-75 the home address is, the student, I'll give an example. The family lives west, and the child is currently attending Gamble High School. The child in the entry year of the new sibling will be in grades 8 through 12, right? So the new sibling is probably going to be in grade 7. The sibling who's already there might be a junior this year and a senior next year. That child would actually be able to use the sibling, have a higher priority because of the sibling. However, if the entering sibling is in grade 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, but the sibling who's already there, the currently enrolled sibling, will not be at that same school next year, the applying sibling would not receive sibling priority. So both children have to be there, the new sibling's first year there.
Okay, great. Thank
There's
you.
More information about that, I think, on our application too. So we'll be sharing that too.
Terrific. So let's see here. I get to some of the next questions. I can scroll up. I know there are some questions about, there was one question to explain the application period and what that is. So that would be if you are a 6th grade parent in a CPS district, in-district Montessori school, then you will be able to apply if you live on the east side to Clark and the west side to Gamble. So that's kind of a quick snapshot of what we just ran through. And if you have any specific questions after that, you certainly can call customer care or email customer care, either one, or either of the high schools, and they would be able to answer more specific questions coming out of that. My child is on the west side, similar question, but I want my child at Clark. Do we have to enter the lottery? So yes, it's really shifted from a lottery to an application period, and you would apply on the west side to Gamble and on the east side to Clark. So that is something that's different this year, which is one of the reasons we want to make sure we're having these info sessions. How and when can we schedule shadowing experiences? So as Ms. Murphy indicated earlier, we have a great opportunity coming up on Thursday to participate in a high school night. If you missed that, those will be recorded. And then we will have shadowing opportunities listed on both the Clark and Gamble website, as well as links to those as they become available on the Montessori application site, on the regular CPS website.
Hi, Krista. I'd like to jump in for just a sec.
Please.
I'd like to be able to answer the question, but I believe because there are so many more, it's lost in the feed. So I'm just going to jump it into chat.
Go for it.
Okay.
I love that. So what if my child passes the entrance exam for Walnut after they've applied for any of these two schools? So I believe, Leslie, I'm going to take a stab at this, and then please tell me if I am wrong. So you are automatically enrolled into the school that you're accepted into. If at that time or a future date you decide to attend a different school, then you would need to contact customer care or the high school to unenroll in Montessori. Did I do that right, Leslie? Okay, great.
You did a great job. We prefer an emails so that way we
Okay,
can
thank
make
you.
sure that it matches the application. And we're also, as a school district, we're going to call you back and make sure you really don't want that seat. It does happen, but if you pass the Walnut Hills test, or you meet entrance requirements for Spencer, or you meet entrance requirements for SCPA, or you just simply want a completely different experience for your child, you just have to decline that seat, because otherwise we're going to keep you in there. So good job.
Okay, thanks. I'm getting better. All right, I'm going to pass through some of these other questions, so just give me a second so you guys have visibility into what's being asked. And then I will come back over here to ask some of them. Okay, so how will we get access to the recording for Thursday's call? So both this call tonight and the calls on Thursday, we'll make sure those are also available on the CPS website. We can make sure this is available on the elementary school websites, and then that the Thursday, which is really what the question is about, the Thursday call, that those will be available on the Clark site or the Gamble site. Thank you. Great question. Does it matter during the application period when you apply? So first come, first serve? No. So as long as you are submit within the window between when it opens and when it closes, you'll get equal consideration. In the future, will this early application period open up to kids who are at Montessori through 6th grade and went to a different school? So for example, my 8th grader went to Walnut but really wanted Clark but didn't get in. Can they apply to Clark for 9th grade? So that's certainly something we can take into consideration for future years. For this year, we're really focused on those 6th graders moving into 7th. But thank you very much for the suggestion, and we'll definitely keep that in mind.
If I may drop in also, don't
Please.
forget, if you have not submitted a high school lottery application for that child ever, you can apply for a high school seat in the actual general high school lottery that opens up December 7th this year.
That's great. Thank you. What if my child passes the entrance exam for Walnut after they've applied for these schools? So the same as earlier would apply. You would contact us to let us know that you no longer want to be in the Montessori program, and then you could enter into Walnut, your student, your child. Okay, is there any possibility for a child on the west side to go to Clark? So we really have followed the meridian as was requested by the board. So at this time, the only real exception process for that would be a sibling application, because we're committed to keeping families together. So on the form, you would fill out at the bottom, there's a place to say, yes, I have a sibling, and you can fill that in there. So for this year, it is really that 75 line is the dividing period. Okay, what if you get too many applicants for the number of open seats at a given school? So the good news is we know how many kids are on the east side and how many kids are on the west side. So we are definitely paying close attention to that. And it is part of the reason that we are using that priority language for right now. So I am a West Sider with a junior at Clark. Will my 6th grader be able to go to Clark with him? Yes, that would be an example, I believe, Leslie, correct, of a family who would fall under the sibling exemption, I guess is what we would call that. And you would just, as you fill out your application, you would note that there's a space at the bottom to do that.
Perfect.
See, look, 20th times is the trick there. All right, I'm just looking. We're getting a couple more. We have about 5 minutes, and so I want to make sure we're hitting on questions that we have not covered in any manner, shape, or form. A lot of questions about Walnut and SCPA. So SCPA, same process would follow as we talked about with Walnut. You would go through the audition and entrance process there. Okay, so students used to indicate their top 3 choices. Is that information still being collected somewhere? So not for this. So we had really an outpouring of input from families, and I think rightfully so, that they really wanted to be prioritized if they're going from a CPS Montessori school to a CPS high school, and the way the lottery was set up was not necessarily allowing for that. And so we have switched this year. We've completely pulled out sixth graders who attend a CPS Montessori school and live in district to be their own period. There will be a lottery for magnet and high school that will start in December, correct, Leslie? And I believe it's not top 3 though, right?
It is. It is still top 3.
It is top 3. Okay,
it
great.
is still top 3.
Okay, super. So for the other lottery, that process will still look the same. Do we have a preference submitting online or paper copy? I would argue, my guess is Leslie would say online would be great. However, we will take it in whatever form is most convenient for you to get it to us. Thank you so much for that thoughtful question. Did you put in an application to Clark in case your son doesn't make it into Walnut? Clark would be your second choice. Walnut would be your first. Here's what I would say is if you're interested. Oh, Shauna? Ms. Murphy, did you raise your hand? Oh, no. She's like, no. Okay. I thought I saw a hand go up. So what I would say is if you're interested in a Montessori high school, this is your chance to sort of sign up for that. So that would be my nugget of guidance there.
A little bit of information
Please.
Also. So you have a unique opportunity as a 6th grade Montessori parent to utilize this early application period to secure your seat. Should your child meet the entrance requirements for Spencer, Walnut, and SCPA, then you have some options that are a little bit different from a lot of other folks. So you can actually decline the seat or keep the seat. You don't have to decline the seat without knowing what your child's high school will be next year. You can wait until you get all the information you need.
Okay, great. And Leslie, don't mute. Oh, I'm too slow every time. Can you please clarify what the opt-out date of December 17th means?
Yes. So we are going to, once your child gets a seat at either Clark High School or Gamble High School, for us, the child's going to be enrolled there. Unless you contact us and say, nope, I've changed my mind, I'm going to do something different. That's the only way. Until you say no, the child is in there. So again, if you decide you want your child to go to Walnut, Spencer, or SCPA because of the entrance requirement, they met them, then that's when you'll let us know by December 17th if you know, and if you don't know, you'll let us know after that. But if it were me, I wouldn't say anything until I know for sure what I want to do with my child for the upcoming school year.
Okay, when will the online link come out? It will be on the website on the day that we open on the 21st.
Yes.
There we go.
And remember, 9 a.m., but it's not first come, first serve. So you don't have to rush to get online at 9 a.m. and submit your application. As exciting as it is and excited as we all are, you can take your time. Just do it before October 29th.
Okay, great. We are right at 7 o'clock, and there were 2 questions that just came through that I had not seen before, so I want to make sure we hit those. What information is needed to apply? So the application is pretty basic, so it's really just your contact information, the name of your child, and then a spot for siblings if that applies to your family. What did I forget, Leslie?
So you did pretty good. So we have something new, another identifier. So we have your child's name, your child's date of birth, and your child's Power School ID number. And that will help you because when the results are released in November, you can log right into Power School and actually see on that that PowerSchool line that has a PowerSchool ID, date of birth, and grade, which school your child will have for the next school year. And again, just look for the information in your status letter about how you gain access to the updates. Pretty good.
Okay, great. And then if we don't get a spot, how will the waiting list work? I think that is probably one that we will provide an FAQ for, because I don't actually know if there will be a waiting list. I think ideally everyone kind of gets what they want based on their residence, their home address. So it hopefully that does not apply. If it does, we will be sure to be clear about how that process works. All right, so I know we are at the top of the hour. We want to be respectful to everyone's time. I would say thank you so much for such great active participation, and thank you to our panel for your answers and responses, especially Ms. Bryant. You did a great job there. So there will be lots of opportunities and ways to ask questions. So if you go to the Montessori application page on the CPS website, there are multiple ways to ask questions. So please don't feel like if we didn't get to your question or you had sort of a specific nuance that we weren't able to address, that this is your only opportunity. There are lots of ways to make sure that we get that answered for you. So thank you, everyone, and really appreciate your time. Hope everyone has a great evening.